Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a different topic today, which I thought you may, you might find it very interesting. If you like astrology, then you most likely like this. So it's basically about something called human design. And I've been reading up on human design for a while. I still am very new to it, even though I was introduced to human design 2 years ago. Yes, it was actually around the same time that I was introduced to astrology as well. So what is human design exactly? Human design is basically a system used to really help us leverage our energy correctly, to really avoid becoming overwhelmed or despaired and burnt out. And what's actually super interesting about human design is that it is this synthesis that consists of astrology. So astrology is in it because it has planets within the chart or the body graph, and it also is in conjunction with the I Ching and with the Kabbalah, with the Chakra System, and with quantum physics as well. Now it is a relatively new science of self-discovery, okay, because it was only just discovered in 1987 by Robert Alan Krakower. I can't really pronounce, sorry. Just have some coffee here. I was out last night at an event and on the way home picked up coffee. So ultimately the system, so the human design system, is really crucial when it comes to helping us make vital shifts in consciousness for evolution, for the evolution of mankind. We can come to understand our own unique design as a way for us to raise our consciousness collectively. It is a very complex system, very complex. I've actually only really discovered the minimum about it recently, and I'm going to get into the very minimum, the basics of it, and then I'm also going to be talking about my experiences with my type. So my type is I'm a projector, if any of you know. By the way, if any of you have heard of human design, let us know in the comment section. It'd be interesting to know your type. Then also my profile is the 1-3. Yeah, but we're gonna get into that. What does all of that mean anyway? This is just a very basic video. I'm also going to place a calculator in the description box if you want to find out more information about your own body graph. And just to make you aware, there are a few videos online about the different types, the different profiles. Maybe not so much material, there's really not a lot of material, but it's good to appreciate the material that we have. Okay. So the system is calculated from your birth information, of course. So much like with astrology, so your time of birth, your place of birth, your date of birth, and the body graph itself, it consists of gates, it consists of circuits, channels, and centers. I'm going to show you a quick picture actually of my own body graph. I'm going to insert it somewhere so you can have a look for yourselves. So I know it might look quite, I'm actually looking at my chart right now, it might look quite confusing. It's a lot, but yeah, you can see that there are the 9 centers there. Some of my centers, they are colored in, but what that's called in human design is it means they are defined. If they're not defined or colored in, it means that they are open centers. So I'm going to tell you guys what each of the centers are to begin with. So the center at the very top with the head there, that's obviously the head, okay? Then the one below that, the triangle below that, is the ajna, and the one below that is the throat center. The one below that then, in the very, it's like the heart of it, is the identity. And then just down to the right hand side of the chart, just below, just a little triangle, that's the will center. And if we come across and we go to the other triangle farther to the right, that's the emotional solar plexus. And then if we come in very bang smack in the middle, that square, that's the sacral center. And then just across again, we're going over to the left hand side, that's the spleen center. And lastly, the very, very bottom is the root center. And I do find this to be quite interesting because it's very strongly linked with the 7 chakras, because of course you have the 7 chakras that run up and down, but with this instance it's 9 centers. Then we also have the 64 gates. So you can see on the chart, I'm gonna show it again for you guys. You can see how there's loads of numbers. There's so many numbers across it. They're basically the 64 gates, all those numbers. And some of them are, they've got like a blue circle around them. And then others are, they don't have the circles. So that's really touching on which gates are being activated, I guess you could say, within the body graph. What's really interesting about each gate actually is that they all mean something different. So if you can imagine, there's 64 of them. Of course, the 9 centers mean something as well. I mean, if you have a defined center, say a defined sacral, then that's going to mean something. Even if it's open, it's going to mean something. And then within each center with the gates, if it's in blue, it's going to mean something. So there's so much going on within this graph. There's so many different meanings and translations to add flavor to sort of tell the story, I guess you could say, about how you are or who you are and how your design is made up. Very similar to astrology, in which, you know, it's this story, because I do like to view the birth chart as a story. You know, our lives are stories, which is just incredible. You know, stories aren't just in the movies, in the books. Your life, our lives are stories, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, there's 64 gates, and then there are 3 major circuits, which then contain circuits within themselves. The 3 major circuits are the individual, the tribal, and the collective. And each of these circuits play a unique role in sharing information, values, and survival strategies, and they all work in conjunction to further humanity. So going with, say, the individual major circuit, there's also going to be sub-circuits within the individual major circuit. The individual circuit contains 3 sub-circuits. So there's integration, centering, and knowing. But then going further into it, with each sub-circuit, there are channels. Okay, so basically there are major circuits, there are sub-circuits of major circuits, and then there are also channels. Are you starting to see that there's just so much to this? I'm actually going to go into a few of my own gates so I can give you some insight and maybe try to compare it with my chart, with my birth chart. So yeah, that's why it's super interesting that, you know, astrology is also connected with this. And the reason why it is because you'll even see on the chart there is the design side where all the planets are there, and it's in red. And then there's the personality side, and it's in black. It's the design side that really relates to the unconscious, and then it's the personality side that relates to the conscious. Let's do a couple of examples of the gates then. So in my chart, the 4th gate is highlighted there. So I'm going to read what that means with the 4th gate. Actually, let me have a look again to double check it is. Yes. I'm going to read what the 4th gate means. So it says here at the top, I Ching is youthful folly. F-O-L-L-Y. Folly. Hi, Folly. No. Anyway. Astrology, sorry. Astrology, it says Leo. And then biology, it says anterior and posterior pituitary glands. Sorry, I don't really study biology. If you study biology, pituitary, yeah, let's move on. Gate 4 is the gate of the answer. The answer is what, you may wonder. It doesn't matter. It's just the answer. Answers come from Git 4 without a lot of regard for validity. They are merely possibilities that need to be proven over time. People with this energy, especially with an open head, is my head open? It is. My head is open. I'm a very open-minded person. No, Richard, that's nothing to do with it. People with this energy, especially with an open head, will be under pressure to come up with answers. Okay? Answers can sometimes just plop out of this person's mouth. Remember that answering is simply an energy. Just because someone has an answer doesn't make it the right one. Okay, so maybe is this suggesting that I have an answer for everything? Because it does feel like that sometimes. It does. Even if I don't say it, there are times when I think, oh, I know the answer to this, and then I realize, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't think it's correct. Yeah, so I can kind of see how this plays out in my life. Even reading that, I'm like, I can be like that. It's just like, to what? It doesn't matter. Yeah. So this is, I mean, there's other possibilities here, and it's okay. What's the question? What were we talking about again? Alright, so let's do Git 13. Git 13, that is highlighted in my chart, my graph. So it says here, Git 13 is the listener. Yes, it is the listener. The I Ching, it says the Fellowship of Man. Astrology, it says Aquarius. Aquarius. Biology, it says liver. Git 13 is kind of magical. Oh, magical, you say. It's an energy that creates a very interesting response in the people around it. Git 13 compels people or others to share their secrets with them. Oh, yeah. If a person has this energy, people will tell them anything and everything, even people they don't know. This is the energy of the listener. When you have this energy, you are a storyteller, but most importantly, a story keeper. Because this energy is so close to the throat chakra or throat center, I'm saying chakra thinking, and is part of an expressive channel, it is easy to blurt out other people's stories and secrets, especially if the throat is undefined. Is my throat undefined? It is defined. I'll keep your secrets. I'll keep your secrets safe. But keeping stories is a sacred job, and one that ultimately holds the key to part of the story of humanity. With Git 13 comes not only the energy for listening, but also the energy for giving direction once the story has been shared. This is a very special energy, one that requires compassion and wisdom. And this is quite interesting because I was sitting last night with my housemate and I even said this. I was like, yeah, I like to listen. I like to listen. And I will ask questions. I love asking questions all the time. Especially if I find someone to be super interesting, in which I do find my housemate to be super interesting and really cool. I really like her and I love the discussions we have. Yes, the listener. Say, for example, a friend is coming to me and they're asking for advice on a situation. Rather than me delivering or responding by saying, oh, well, this is what I think you should do, or here's some solutions, or these are just my thoughts and my opinions on it. Yes, I do provide my thoughts and opinions, but it's more, I like to ask them a question back. I like to get them to think more and go introspective, like into themselves, and really help them understand that they know the answer to the question, if that makes sense. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that I prefer others to realize that they do have the answer, but by them asking me questions or for advice about the situation, because they come to me, they're sort of finding the answer in themselves because I'm asking them the right questions to go introspective into themselves to figure that out. This is so much fun! By the way, this is the book that I'm using. If any of you are curious and you want to buy this book to learn more about human design, go ahead, here you go. This is who it's by, you know. I'm not, this is not, I'm not being promoted or anything, you know, paid to do this, I promise. Yeah, just go to Amazon and get it there. So this leads me on to the final part of this video. And that is to do with your individual design keynotes. So you have then in the individual design keynotes, so it's at the very top of your chart. So at the very top it says the type. Now there are 5 different types. There are generators, which make up around 70% of the population. There are projectors, which make up about 20% of the population. There are manifestors, there are manifesting generators, and there are reflectors. So these are the 5 types. My type is I am a projector. So what does it mean to be a projector? Well, my basic knowledge, my basic understanding of it is that we are to wait to be invited. Meaning that when it comes to relationships, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to big opportunities in our lives, we're really supposed just to wait for the invite to pursue it. And if we go all in, right, we just go all in and be the go-getters, which I can be very much a go-getter. You know, Aries moon. But the whole point for the projector is to lay low, focus on their craft, do it, you know, not work all the time, which again, also something I feel I do. But then again, I don't look at this as work. I look at this as enjoyment, right? I love doing it. It's like my hobby with work because I do make an income from it with birth chart readings, but I'm also like, this is enjoyable to me. I don't know. But ultimately, projectors were supposed to wait. When I first heard this, my initial response was, what is it I'm waiting for? What am I supposed to wait for? What is this thing to wait for? But interesting enough, when I did start learning about human design a couple of years ago, actually, I realized that even astrology, even making these videos, it was a waiting game for me in that sense, right? Because whilst I can make a video, anybody can make a video, right? I've made it. I'm not, like, I've basically made that video. But because other people are coming to view the video, watch that video, that is essentially a sort of acceptance of, okay, I see this video here, I'm going to watch it. I am inviting this person who made this video to my view, if that makes sense. I look at it as you guys have invited me to provide you with information because you view and you subscribe and you like and you comment. So that's how I view it, and that's incredible, and that's, you know, I really love that. I love that that I'm able to study my craft and learn about astrology and research it continuously, but then boom, a email comes through for a birth chart reading, invitation, there we go, instantly, like, hi Hannah, can I please request a birth chart reading? That is an invite. I can see how that is me living out my type, my projector type. However, there are things that I still do that kind of go against my type, which I'm still trying to learn, and apparently it takes years to really learn this. Another thing is that my profile, so there is across from the type, there are the profiles. There are 12 different profiles, and my profile is the 1-3. So basically that means the number 1 stands for the investigator. That's my conscious self. So like I said, the personality. And then the 3 is the martyr, and that's my unconscious self. So it's my conscious self of the investigator wanting to investigate and study and learn more information, right? And trying to find a solid base, solid ground for all of this. And I guess that's, again, with my channel of providing the structure. My channel is very structured. Then underneath there is the number 3, and that's connected with the martyr or the anarchist, where The anarchist apparently just wants to tear everything down and just destroy things. So whatever is not working, the third line, we completely want to dismantle and destroy whatever is not working. But in the process of doing that, we're able to create things out of it. And I have actually a perfect example of this, which is very interesting. Is that like a couple of weeks ago I made a YouTube video, and it combined karma with aliens, with history of astrology. So it was combining all of these things into one video, and I felt like, wow, this is just not working. This is just terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm putting all of this into one video. No, I can't, no. So I put it on private. I didn't upload it, but somehow, without even consciously thinking about it, along as the weeks went by, I made a video all about the history of astrology, one video, longer video. I made a video about karma, one video, longer video. And then also with aliens, I want to create a series about aliens. There we go, another idea came out of it. So it was this destructive attitude towards the video, and just thinking, oh, this is so bad, this doesn't work. Ugh. And then it turned into, actually, there's solutions here, that I can create something from it. But it wasn't consciously. It wasn't like I said, oh, I know, I have an idea, I can do this, this, and this. It was more, okay, screw that, I don't want to do that. And then I went on about my day, and then idea came. Oh, history of astrology. Okay, let's do that video. It just came to me, and so I researched it more. And then weeks went by, didn't really think about karma, and then boom, karma came. So it is interesting how, when I'm not looking for these things necessarily, and I just allow them to be and spark up creativity or ideas in my mind, then I'm able to use my investigator, my first line, I guess you could say, my conscious awareness, and to investigate it properly and dive into it and create the material that I create. And so I can see how that 1-3 is playing out within my life. When it comes to relationships as well, I would say very similar. I like to investigate and really feel out the relationship. Before, I wouldn't have done that as much. Before, with relationships, I'd be very instant, going instant into things quickly. And I can sort of be like that. I can just be very impulsive and instant into particular relationships with people and not really think about it, which is so interesting because I do have my Venus in Capricorn, but yet my Venus in Capricorn is square my moon in Aries. My moon in Aries is actually square a lot of different planets. I think it makes 4 square aspects. So yeah, I suppose you could say I'm not just the regular Venus in Capricorn. However, what I have been trying to do lately is I'm trying to change that mentality from being very instant, because I realize it gets me nowhere. I'm just like, where is this even going? It just leads to destruction and chaos. So I'm learning, right? It's very trial and error with the third line underneath. There's a lot of trial and errors that go on, and so over time we learn more and more and more. I suppose you could say that I am learning more and more and more through my relationships because of these trial and error experiences, and I am learning to use my first line investigator side of me to assess the foundation more carefully, and also learning to be more slow and steady with these things, be more cautious, live out that Venus in Capricorn archetype or energy, rather than allowing these squares or allowing the martyr to come out from underneath that investigating line and to just tear down what it is that I'm investigating. There are just some experiences that I wanted to share about my 1-3 profile and about my projector type. Another thing then with the individual design keynotes is that there is a definition. Mine says split definition. And there's also the strategy. So my strategy is waiting for the invitation. There's also the authority. and my authority is the emotional solar plexus. There's also the non-self theme, which mine is bitterness. And lastly, there is the incarnation cross. And the incarnation cross actually consists of your energies that make up your unconscious and conscious sun and earth signs. So for mine is the right angle cross of explanation, which is 49/4, then 43/22. So the 49 and the 4 would be my personality side, my sun 49, and then my earth 4. But then my design side, my unconscious side, so personality side, subconscious side, design side is the unconscious side, would be the 43 with the sun / the earth sign 23. Again, guys, I don't know what all of this means. I'm very new to human design, but I wanted to talk about it because, you know, I've wanted to talk about it for a while, but I just find it so interesting, and I'm only really starting to understand that there are different pieces to the puzzle of the body graph. And so the point of this video was to compartmentalize everything into the different sections, so that you too, whenever you go to get your own graph, your own chart, which again, the calculator is going to be in the description box. When you get it, you'll be able to see, oh, this is what Hannah was saying in the video. There is this part and this part. Let me go into Google and search this, or let me go into YouTube and search this. Let me go and buy one of these books. Not just this book, but there's probably loads of books about human design. So guys, that is really what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you were able to learn something from this video, especially if you're a projector or if you have a 1-3 in your profile. Yeah. Thank you all so much, as always, for watching. And thank you for subscribing. Sorry, that sounded really hard. What can I say? I'm caffeined up on coffee right now. Alright, I will be back then with another video very, very soon. Bye!